Welcome to the Tone Jerks Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Kyle McIntyre. He is just sitting here doing nothing.
It's brought to you by me and only me. By viewers like you.
Pretty much.
I'm Brian Gower. Yep, we're here.
Oh, you're going to keep this?
Yeah, let's do it. I like it.
I'm Kyle McIntyre, who brought you this episode.
Yeah.
If you didn't catch the first 5 seconds.
So thank me. Kyle, what's new in your world? What is shaking? What is grooving? What is good?
Oh, man. I'm glad you asked. I got a haircut. So everyone's bitching about haircuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Including me.
Yeah, you were.
It was horrible. I mean, it wasn't even that long. When it starts touching my ears, it's like...
And the back of your neck. You're not a long hair guy.
No, it's like it encroaches on my space. It feels like claustrophobic or something.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing I think I feel to claustrophobia is like when hair gets in my eyes, or like when my hair, which I usually keep it back, it's long enough to touch my chin, right? Yeah. But when it touches, like it's in my eyes or it touches my ears, it freaks me out. I don't know why. It feels like something that my eyes start to water and shit like that. Anyways, I know.
My teeth itch.
My teeth.
My fingernails itch.
Yeah. So I got my hair cut. My wife cut my hair actually, and it's damn good actually.
Yeah.
So I'm really stoked on that.
She did a pretty good job.
So
yeah,
but that tells you anything.
Yeah, no, it looked good.
I haven't styled it yet, but I don't think I'm going to. I don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it feels great. It feels like it's just grown out a little bit from what I normally get.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go fucking skin on my,
Yeah, you don't want her to do like a fade.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
first of all, I hate haircuts to begin with. I can't sit there for longer than like 30 minutes.
They shouldn't be longer than 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, always I've had like barbers that take forever to cut hair. And I don't like sitting in one spot for too long.
Mm-hmm.
I can barely sit in a movie. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Planes, that's one thing. But this feels like a plane trip where you get hair in your face.
It's boring.
Yeah. So,
but you're not really, you're not really a long hair kind of guy. I guess the top of your hair, you kind of do like, I don't know what more normal people have is like normal people. A common haircut is to have, I don't know why I said it like that.
Well,
a common haircut.
I guess I'm not normal. Well, okay.
Fucking normie. A common haircut that people have is like shorter on the sides and the back and longer on the top. So you can comb it over or like slick it back, whatever you're doing. So you're not used to having long hair on the back.
Yeah.
And it was like maybe what, like
it
2 inches maybe?
It was long. I mean, it was long in my books. Like
it's probably like 1.5 inches. It wasn't too long, but for you, it's like you're normally going down to like a 2.
It had been like, I think January was when I got my haircut last.
Actually, it probably wasn't really that long. But it's just like, if you're not used to having long hair, if your hair is even long enough to where like it like will touch your neck.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I go wear hats, so it like it comes out of the hat and it like curls.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts to give like the duck tail kind of look.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
So she cut my hair. It was great. It was like the windiest fucking day.
You weren't gonna do like those crazy haircuts that people are doing, where it's like
like mohawks and shit.
Yeah, mohawks and stuff like that.
No, I gotta work still. Those are people that don't have to.
Then they're at home. I saw Tasteless Gentleman. When they host, they're doing like a video podcast, like was it Zoom or whatever? So one of the guys just shows up and he did like where he bicked like his head to where it's like, oh, it's like the Dr. Phil.
So it's like the Friar haircut.
The Friar haircut is what he did, and he just shows them. People like, what the? So he did that for an episode where he has like the Friar tuck just bicked that whole part of his head. And he's kind of got like really thick hair on the side. He's not going bald at all, so he just like did that just for the fucking hell of it. Yeah, he's like, oh man, if this thing goes on for longer, people are going crazy. Look at this haircut, I'm going crazy. And then the other guy shaved his hair and to where he had like the Danzig. I think he like to where he only kept like the front part of it. So he's like,
Was it Von Frankenstein? That dude? The guy from
Doyle.
Doyle.
He cut his hair to it's like the Doyle because it's like wine just at home.
Well, I actually I did quite a bit of trimming on my beard too. So I did like the sides. So I kind of blended it from my hair, so like my sideburns down to my beard. So I just kind of did the sides and then kind of trimmed it up, and it looks fine.
Yeah, no,
fuck, I don't think I ever have to go to a barber again.
Yeah, you're like,
I mean, I will when I want to get it like tight, like super tight. But
yeah, we talked about it. But Dapper J's in La Mesa is really good. Yeah,
we'll see how they do with the facial hair.
Yeah, I'm sure that they'd be able to make it happen. But anyways, no, it looks good.
Thank you. I got some clothes in. So I got one of my favorite brands, Black Rifle Division.
Yeah.
So I got some hats. Got a camo hat. I know you like camo.
You got that matte black camo, baby.
The patch hat still.
Yeah.
So got some patches too.
You need to get, the matte black camo to match your matte black camo shoes.
Yeah. Well, it's like green camo. It's not the same. God damn it, Brian. I see people online wearing those. I was like, I'm validated.
Yeah.
But they're usually gun channels.
Get my gun matte camo black.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Get the fucking whip matte camo black.
Damn, do a rap. Fuck. That'd be really dumb.
There you go.
Be a good bit.
Yep.
You throw me off, but I got a matching patch that Michael Newman bought me a while ago. So I bought another one to go with that one. So
nice.
He got me like a Pac-Man PVC ghost. It's like a rubberized kind of ghost. And I got the next one. So it's like the Pac-Man ghost. This one's the red one. He got me the glow in the dark one.
Nice.
Yeah,
so
pretty cool.
Matchy. There you go.
There's like 5 more, so I'll buy them over a period of time.
You got a stunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm out here shining, baby.
Only for
got
me.
my new haircut. Got my new
digs.
My new threads, baby.
Yeah.
You see what I'm rocking, baby?
Dude, I love this shirt actually.
New shirt, you bitch. You see this?
I bought a buddy of mine one of these.
It's a fucking travesty that we're not doing video podcasts.
I know. But I'm wearing basketball shorts that are shorter than the underwear I'm wearing. So it's probably not. It's probably a good thing I'm not. Like they're coming up.
Even possible. They are. Jesus Christ. It's just lucky that they're both black, but it's like, how did you even buy those?
Well, the briefs are just they're clingy, and they stick to the leg. And then the basketball shorts are a little flowy. They slide right over.
Oh, fuck.
And they're like the same material, so they're like,
yeah,
they slide right over.
The old school basketball where they had like them like
the leggings, like the short, like the leg huggers, whatever the Under Armour. That's what it was, Under Armour. And then they wore
but like the old school ones where it's like, I don't know, from like the 80s or whatever. So they the short shorts.
Lycra.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, so I got some stuff, which is weird because I haven't bought anything in a long time. I mean, that's a total lie. I haven't bought clothes, I guess.
Yeah.
But I did buy a plug-in, and we're back to plugins.
So recording again.
Yeah. Well, that's a big thing. I love it. I don't know, and I'm getting better at it, and I'm not the fucking best, but I got a plugin that was recommended by Scott Hamilton.
Yeah, from the Effects Loop podcast.
Yes.
Friend of the show, Scott.
He chimed in the group, and he's like, I heard you're looking for some killer tones.
Yeah.
So he recommended the PRS. It's from Waves, I believe. They made the software, and it's based on some PRS amps.
Yeah, the Archon and stuff like that.
Archon, the V9, and the Dallas amps, and they're cool. They come with presets. I got to figure out how to get some IRs in there, but it's cool. There's some from Devin Townsend in there.
Yeah, just like presets that you're like, oh, this is a good sound.
Yeah, when I was looking it up, I was looking at reviews. Like the first one was from Devin Townsend, and he was just talking about. I was like, oh, that's cool, and he was just talking. It was like an introduction to him from Waves, basically on all the Sims and stuff. And he's oh, this is cool, and he's going through them. And then I didn't even know they came with his like IRs in there, with his presets.
Yeah, his presets. Yeah,
and so I was like, oh shit. So, and I've been using some of his, and they're pretty cool.
It's a huge step in sound from the stock ones that you had in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, plugins for DAWs. I don't know. I mean, sometimes they're really good. I've not found any problems with the EQs, compressions, gates, and shit like that that I use for recording the podcast and even the band. But I don't think I'm putting out music really for the band, but I should be getting better at mixing and stuff like that to put out stuff that we would do on Spotify, yada yada. But I'm like, yeah, that's totally fine. But I can find faults in the built-in amps and shit like that like even Pro Tools has, because they suck. They're fucking terrible. So if you buy third party, plugins and shit like that, and you noticed a huge difference when you had like your built-in amps or whatever in Reason, you're like, okay, I'm able to get to creating and doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But once you buy it was like good deal, right?
Yeah, I got it for like $30.
Yeah, it sounds great actually.
And they were on sale. So
and
it's like,
so it was on sale, and I remember he posted the link in the group, and I'm like, oh, you should just try it. And I'm like,
yeah.
Waves is a good company, and they make a lot of really good shit that everybody talks about. So I'm like, oh, it'd be worth trying out, because you can get 3 different amps in there that are like heavy, a crunch, and a clean.
Yeah, and I'm really liking the Devin Townsend's presets. I've been using those but there's some other ones, just
Archon and stuff like that.
Archon, yeah, and there's some other ones that sound really good. I just haven't found a place for them yet, I guess. But I guess I have to explore into some third-party impulse responses. And
I mean, what you're getting is sounding good so far. But I mean, like I was saying, it's like if you get into third-party impulse responses, they just sound good without you even having to try.
Okay.
You just click through them and they sound good.
All right.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's cool that you actually ended up doing that, and you've been sending Johnny and I a lot of tracks, and they sound
sorry, guys.
No, it sounds good.
Thanks. And I've been doing like rock kind of sounding things, and then I've like, oh, let me move this kind of like 80s kind of sounding guitar where it's got like heavy reverb and heavy delay with these presets that I'm using over some synth tracks. I'm like, okay, so I'm starting to visualize kind of what it
like the
that's kind of what I wanted to do
retro wave kind of deal. So it's like kind of that 80s sounding tracks, like backing in with the drums and beats and stuff like that. But you're also now able to play guitar over it, so you're able to implement these lead lines or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm using my Super Strat and fucking Christ.
You're 80s up in this bitch.
Fuck, it's so good. I need to think about.
I need to start doing some coke.
Yeah, that's the best part about the 80s.
No, dude, it's
coke.
It's the 80s, so I need to get some tab.
Some tab. Oh, fuck. I was thinking about that the other day. They still make it.
Yeah, I've never tried it.
It's probably, last time I had it, it was pretty shitty.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes you're like, you've had Spam before, right? It's really shitty.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want to have Spam again. And then you eat it, you're like, yep, this is why I didn't eat Spam. Like, disgusting. It's like salty.
Yeah.
It tastes canned. It tastes like the pig like was raised in that can.
I guess,
yeah. And then they killed it and cooked it in that same thing.
It was born and died in that can.
Yeah. All they did is they laid out a couple cans, and they just took a pig and they just smashed it into it.
Yeah, I haven't had Spam in a really long time, but I remember, having it with eggs and stuff like that. Right. It's pretty good.
It's probably good when you have like good wholesome things with it.
Yeah.
By itself, it's shit.
You're not going to just like fucking...
It's quite shit.
It's quite shit. And you're not going to like dig a fork into that fucking thing and like...
No. And
we just, chow down.
I tried doing that where you slice it into pieces and you put it on like a hot skillet and you just like brown it up. Still tastes like shit. I was like, fuck, how do you eat this?
But fuck this.
I probably didn't do the egg thing right. What's new with you?
Let's see. I sold my Fractal FX8.
Nice.
Sold it on Reverb. So it was really, it was nice.
Just a pack and ship job or what?
Yeah. And so I had the box that when I bought my AX8 on Reverb, they shipped it to me in the factory. So like the factory foam, and they are the exact same size, the FX8 and AX8. So I just put it in that box and all the foam and like bubble and everything like that. Shipped it out. No problem.
Nice.
So had these same exact weight and all the dimensions and no problemo. So I thought it was cool. Just like, little, I mean, I sold it for way less than what I bought it for. I looked at like what I bought it for like 3 years ago. I'm like,
Was it like $1,200 or something?
I bought it for like $900. I sold it for like $550.
Yeah, but you use the shit out of it.
Yeah. And I mean, they're not new anymore when they, think about like whatever.
But it's pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much, yeah. But anyway.
Someone got a smoking deal.
Yeah, somebody got a good deal, but it's something I'm not using anymore, and I don't need to keep all these things around. So it was nice to get rid of something. I always like that feeling of like, yes, this is a win.
Yeah.
It was a win, and I was like, it just, I don't know. It's 100% duh of we're living in this time of like, I can sell something from my house and ship it and get it to somebody, and I'm like, I'm so amazed by that, but I'm like, yeah, we've been doing that for probably a decade. But even more than that. Think of like eBay.
Changed the fucking world.
eBay, baby. So I was on my walk. I might do a daily walk, and I was like, I got an email. I accept the offer, and then when I got back home from my walk, I printed the label, put it out, and then FedEx came and picked it up. It was nice. So it was like,
super
I'm like,
interesting story.
It's kind of boring, but I was like, I was so stoked, and it was like, yeah. So I sold that, and I, nice to get a little bit of, little bit of money in my pocket,
little bit of money
in my pocket.
It's such a stupid song.
That was the song I was listening to when I got the notification. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so trumpet.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so did get we got a care package in the mail.
Yeah,
from Abe Froman, friend of the show. He sent us
the Sausage King of Chicago.
Yeah, he sent us some rolls of toilet paper.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So
all the shit talking we're doing.
Yeah, I brought them over here so we can split up the booty. But is more importantly, he shipped out another pedal that he built.
Yeah.
So
you guys remember he built that chorus pedal?
Yes, for episode 100 and sent it to us.
The Tone Jerks pedal.
So it's a Rat, kind of like a little bit more fancy version of a Rat. So it has more controls and knobs and shit like that. So it has, the volume, gain, and it has a sweep knob, and then also has a cut, which is like is really actually pretty cool because it's a knob that's also an LED.
Really?
Yeah. So when you turn it on, it's a clear knob. That's the LED indicator to show you that it's on or bypass or off.
No way.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. It has a clipping for diode and stuff like that. So it's a lot of options here just on, for a Rat. And so I was playing through it, and then the sweep knob kind of gives you more of like a either smoother kind of distortion or something like that.
Yeah.
So a Rat pedal, you own one.
Quintessential 80s distortion sound.
Yeah.
Right?
And it can really get away from you to be like kind of like super, I don't know, fuzzy kind of deal. And so he, I don't know, kind of did this pedal build, and it has the, the cut knob or whatever. So it's like, I don't know, it's like kind of works the opposite of a tone knob. The more you turn it up, the, bassier it gets. Okay. It's a treble cut knob.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Right. Sending this. He sent it in an enclosure that is kind of harkens to another popular take on a Rat pedal. So it says 1980 on it.
Yeah. This must have been made a year before.
Yeah, so this was the first one.
Yeah. It's probably better.
Instead of a year after the 81. But yeah, no, I'm definitely really dig it. So thank you, Abe Froman, for sending that. So yeah, it's really cool. So post pictures of it on Instagram, shit like that. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's just like,
that's awesome.
I think a lot of people were like, it's not a Rat. It does so much more than that. So that's the hype around that pedal.
Yeah.
Whereas like I like how Abe Froman just kind of took that and leaned with his kind of clone build that he built. I dig it. It's, so I brought it here for you to try out too. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, totally usable.
If it's that 80s sound, I need that.
Oh, yeah, possibly. I'm not sure if I've ever strived for an 80s sound.
Says it right on the box.
No, the 1980. Duh, that's the beginning of that era.
Yeah, some might say 1979 at like New Year's Eve day. Like,
it's a baby New Year. Baby.
that's when it set in like, okay, we're starting some new shit.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. So, just to get that in the mail, I was like, oh, that was funny to open up the box. So I'm like, this box is way bigger for a pedal. What? You couldn't find a smaller shipper?
Well,
and then I got it. I'm like, oh, there's the toilet paper in there. That was pretty fucking good. He sent a note that he said, he made sure to sneeze and cough all over the notes and the whole box when he sent it.
Perfect. We sniffed up.
Yep, we were just like, when I got it in.
Just, you put a straw in the box, like the Tropicana orange, and just...
Or
just inhaled all the air inside.
I do a snorkel and I shove the box in. Make sure to lick the box on. Hey, take it easy. So other than that, I've been recording as well. So I'm doing some more things for the podcast, some more stuff for YouTube. I have some demos and other videos that I'm working on, and I've just been playing a lot more. And I was doing a little bit of stuff for our own EP that has been 2 years in the making. Just playing that. And it's just something that I'm like, some things I can just knock out of the park, and some things are taking time because I'm writing as I go, especially for those demos. If they're not, if they're original songs like I'm making for the demos, like I think the past two that I've done, so for the Lollygagger demo, the Canalia, I wrote that song from playing the Canalia.
Oh wow! You want some royalties or something for that?
Yeah, from YouTube,
from Sean.
I guess, yeah. Or maybe he would ask for royalties because it was
used his equipment.
Yeah, no,
that's fine.
Yeah, so it kind of was more natural of using that to write it instead of like, oh, just this is a song and just shoehorn that in, which is not a bad thing either way. But I'm like, okay, I'm writing as I go. So I'm like, if I fuck up when you're recording, because you're doing this, if you're fucking up your playing while you're recording, it might be because you account it as, well, this is something new I've never played before. So I'm learning as I go. That's your excuse. And then sometimes I'm playing things that I've always played or already have played or
last
recorded.
6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I was like re-recording a take or whatever on a plane track that I'm like, oh yeah, I've already played this. I should be able to do this. And I kept fucking it up. I'm like, can't. It was always like, it was like these little things that I'm like, I don't want to have to default to like edit it out, edit that track. I'm like, no, I should just be fucking able to play it. It's like get pissed and whatever. And I'm like, do you ever have like a snowball effect of like getting angry as you're playing? I can't get whatever. I'm like, or maybe like in your head, you're like, it's because I'm playing the wrong pick.
Yeah,
this pick isn't sharp enough. It's not the right thickness. That pick is the problem. Or
I
you're
got
like,
this one at NAMM.
Or like this guitar, isn't the right guitar. So you switch, and you maybe get it right after that. But I told you it was nobody's around. I told you it was that fucking pick.
You're looking in the mirror.
Like I have a Dunlop Tortex .73, but it's.
Are you even listening to the metronome, dude?
Yellow.
Yeah.
This one is the pitch black one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That means it has a darker tone. It's the same thickness, same brand, same material. It just happens to be black instead of yellow. I'm like, duh.
No, I have all those picks from NAMM that I go through, and I usually just settle with the Tortex ones, but they're branded like the Reverb.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I can only find this one Reverb orange one. I'm like, why was I using the fucking 1 millimeter for picking? I don't know. When I'm I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring out what I'm doing
on guitar. Do you have you have a preference for bass. Have you been finding for guitar that you like a certain string size or
string size? I don't really know. I'm just kind of like
stick with 11s.
Yeah. And then,
but like picks wise,
yeah,
because that is a huge difference.
Picks are important. I'm using like the 88 usually. And then if I'm strumming, going to the orange. So. Because the yellow Tortex, I think I dig too much in. I'm playing like a fucking bassist still. I started playing on yellows.
I think we did it on the pick episode, but I think I started out with the 60s because that's what everybody played.
Yeah.
That I knew. I was like, because everybody's like, that's what Tom and Mark played from Blink. And they were like, probably endorsed by them. So I'm like, these are my picks. And so everybody played. And that's really weird to play a 60 on a bass.
Yeah, he still plays them like that.
Yeah, and then my buddy Ivan, I think that's what he plays because he's like,
gotta do what Tom does.
No,
Mark
I think he
does.
just you get so used to it,
Yeah,
you don't change. But like for me, I'm like, I need a fucking thick pick for both.
I need the what's that 1.14, 1.14 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I use the Tortex Sharps or the Oltex Sharps, and then
well the Durex Sharps.
Gotcha.
Got him.
Got his ass.
Got his fucking ass.
got a lead on him.
Got you fucker.
But okay, no, I've done that where I'm playing on this pick and it has a jagged edge on it. Fuck this, throw it away and go find a new one. I'm like, yeah,
that's how I feel with bass.
I'm playing a lot better now.
Those Sharps, man, I'm like on fucking point.
But if it's dull, you're like,
I know it's true, but I
don't play good. I don't play good.
It's funny if it's dull. It's just like a regular pick now.
Yeah, you're like, get me a fresh pick. I can't work like this.
Who are you talking
I'm the
to?
talent. It's just you're in your garage by yourself.
No.
How dare you? Yeah, no, that was me. It's like kind of like spinning and just like, motherfucker, damn it.
Well, see, I think that you're making like a song that the band we're trying to produce. I'm just like, I'll just go to another one and I'll come back to that. I'll just make something else.
Yeah. And then there's also like, I don't know, I'm working on just a quick demo song, which hopefully I'll have out by this episode for the Telecaster, just to kind of show off the sonic pickups.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
how's that thing working out for you?
Good. I'm going to do a more full-on video demonstrating more of the harness capabilities from Sean. Like we've said before, really, that combo is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
Of the harness with the 5-way switching on a tele set there. And anyway, so just like thinking of parts, this is different than like blaming your pick. I wrote a part and wrote a whole song. Then I'm kind of like, did some lead parts. So I'm like, this shows this, mixing together in a song. And I'm like, I like woke up the next day, listened to it. I'm like, I don't really like that lead part that I wrote. I bet I can do something better. So when I kind of like settled down after I did my whatever I had to do for the day, I'm like, okay, I'm time to create. Of course I can come up with something better because I'm way better than I was yesterday. And so I sit down.
New me.
New day, new me. I sit down. I'm like, everything I wrote sucked. Like nothing sounded better. It all sounded worse. And I was like, just got into my own head and spiraled. And I'm like, oh my God, why am I? And then I'm like, and I stop and I erase what I recorded and went back to what I had already kind of solidified as the final.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds so good. It's like your first instinct and your first idea sometimes is the best. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it's just a different way to create because maybe I'm just coming up with these little 1 minute snippets of songs.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, instead of how does this interact with the whole band or what you're singing or whatever? Because I'm just only doing guitar chords.
One thing at a time. Yeah.
And then just doing a lead line. And I'm like, of course I don't want the lead line to be not that I could be wait.
I could totally do that.
But I'm like, the first part was the best. And I was texting with RJ, Teletalks, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, do you ever just get in your own head and just fuck everything up, and then it keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and realize that your first instinct and your first take was probably the best, your first recording? He's like, yeah, dude, I've been trying to put out my new album for 7 years. He's like,
Dang.
because I just throw everything away and start over and retry and retrack everything. So maybe just anyways. So that's recording wise. I don't know. A little recording corner over here. Don't blame your picks and just sometimes just fucking settle and put shit out.
Just settle.
Not even settling. It's just kind of yeah, I guess that's a word. Yeah, that's a bad way to say it. It's not settling. It's just realize I'm you don't need to fuck with everything. You can just say okay, this is done. It's tap out. We're done. Instead of I could, because things are so different now as opposed to, which we never even lived that life of when things had to go to tape.
Yeah.
I kind of literally don't know how that even works.
How tape works?
No, I mean to record to tape.
Yeah.
Everything had to be done then. But I know they also did overdubs. How does that work?
multiple tracks and then putting it onto recording from one tape to another with the new track.
Right? That's what I'm kind of was guessing, is like they were re-recording that same sound onto a tape.
That's why you have tape piss and a degradation.
Tape piss, yes.
Tape piss.
You got the tape piss. Are you taping the piss?
You're typing the piss.
You're typing the piss, aren't you?
All right.
All right. That's so shitty.
We're just being assholes, man.
No, just shitty accents that we can't do.
What you say, you fucker? That's my best one.
Yeah, that was good.
That's my best one.
But no, that's okay. No, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the tape.
I'm pretty sure that's how they did it.
I don't know, and I've like,
because you would reel it back into another reel that had, so you would record one onto the other, and then you would transfer from one tape to the other.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people kind of can blend that.
But to mix it after that is, once it's on there, it's on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm like guessing. Okay, because I know that some people do a whole mix and they do it digitally and run it through a board, and then maybe they can do analog mixing through, distressors and like UA, like tube preamps and stuff like that, and run the mix.
Because you would record individual tracks,
and then
you would have individual tape for individual tracks.
Yeah, I know Jeff Forrest, which would be cool to get him on the show. He kind of does a blend, and especially whatever the client wants. He has like a big old tape, like that you can bounce to, like you can mix it to tape. And then you can
you can put it back
digitally to master
the ADAT. So they are ADAT rack.
He does that a lot for what we do.
Yeah.
So once you do a mix, it's like, okay, the mix is done.
Yeah.
And then you can master it. But it's like, oh, okay, cool. Because I think we've had drummers before. It's like, okay, cool. So the mix is done. He's like, I would like to bring up the kick drum. You can't. Yeah. It's done. It's like, oh, but we're recording on the computer. I'm like, no, it is tracked on the computer, brought to a board, and then mixed down to a tape. And that stereo mix can then be mastered. This is done now. We have to redo it if you want to change it. It's like, what? I'm like, you don't... It can't be changed unless we want to.
You should have said something.
Unless you want, yes, you shouldn't have. He's like, just does not understand. I'm like, yeah, that's the marriage between analog and digital. That it's cool, but I'm like, I still, to record only to tape would be really weird. And I think I've seen on YouTube and stuff like that, people talk about it. I'm like, oh yeah, they used to do that back in the day, and you can say however what you want to be like, way better musicianship back in the day. Shut the fuck up. It's but it is different. It's like you kind of almost had to commit to tape. Yeah, that was the biggest thing. Almost like how we commit a mix to tape, you had to commit your performance to a tape.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know where we went off of that. Let's do a topic. What do you say?
I'll allow it.
I think I'll allow it this time. Okay, so it's something that it's completely hypothetical, and I think we've done the signature. If you, Kyle McIntyre, had a signature guitar or bass or whatever, what would it be?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why not have we done I can't talk. Why have we not done the topic of a signature pedal if you had one? I was thinking if we maybe each come up with our own idea, maybe if we could like find a common ground. What if we did a tone jerks pedal? Maybe we can do that too. I don't know. We might be butting heads here, but Kyle, if you had a signature pedal, what would you want it to be? What would you want that sound to be?
Well,
so let's do that one.
So recently, I think I talked about it, but I like those like 80s guitar sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think, but to make something that would be useful still for me and someone,
Yeah. So you got to think of like somebody would be able to buy this. Yeah. And you would also like not just like, oh, have this, but also even be able to like, can we sell units?
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
So I would want something with something that was like voiced or sounded like amp distortion.
Mm-hmm. Like an amp in a box kind of deal.
Yeah, amp in a box. That's one of my favorite things still.
Yeah. Would you want it to be like, I don't know, what, like a Vox or a Crunchy or like a Fender?
Probably a Marshall.
Okay, yeah, you like those Marshalls in a box or even the Marshall mods that you do to the DS1s and stuff like that. It's kind of just like, oh, good home bass.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I don't know.
Like a hot rodded Marshall.
I would have to try. Yeah, I'd want something that was pretty hot, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's not you're going to do like, oh, Plexi, so it kind of has like some of that like chunk and a little bit of like, you want like a full saturation.
Pretty much.
To be able to do like the, kind of chugs and also like, the scorching leads.
And this might be weird. I'd want since I've been using it in recording, I want a delay in there. I don't think I've ever heard of a combo with a delay ever. I've heard of reverbs with with overdrive or distortion.
Yeah, I think Mad Professor does the one.
Okay. And then
it's like I think it is a Marshall with like a reverb, I think, and the reverb is just a knob that you can turn up and down, or it's a golden cello. I think it's golden cello. But yeah,
also Southampton has the Indie Dream.
Okay,
which is a overdrive and a reverb also.
Okay,
sorry, yeah. So they've done that, but I don't think I've ever heard of anyone doing like a delay in there.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't know. Have you? Probably.
I think Keeley. I think it's the
okay. They sound like they would do that. I don't know the name of it.
DDR.
Oh yeah.
Distortion, delay, and reverb.
Fuck. Because that was my third one, is reverb. So I want 3 things in this pedal.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, what specific delay would you want?
So probably like a tape delay.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically a tape echo.
So like a space echo kind of deal?
Yeah, space echo.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. And just like it'd be a basic delay still.
And that's what you're using for recording?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or still using on your guitar tracks and stuff?
Yeah, there's a built-in sim or effect, I guess is what they file it under. But it is even the rack simulated part is actually like a space echo.
It looks like
it's just a different color.
Yeah.
It's orange and not green.
Yeah. Like we don't want to get sued, but you know what the
which is weird though. They have other patches like in the drums when you pat. Let's say you wanted a delay on a specific snare hit. It looks. It's the same color scheme as a space echo.
Oh, weird.
So I'm like, all right.
But, okay.
But they have the full rack, which looks exactly like
exactly.
it. So I would do that.
And then the tape delay is a little different because it has like 3 or several different like delay heads or whatever. The tape. So you can do like, it's not just like, it's like several different delays going.
And I don't know if I would want it that complicated, but it'd be nice because that's what I'm using is 3. So it's like one signal in and then 3 delay out, kind of like my Sagan delay that I have. Very much like that actually.
And then what about reverb?
For reverb, I've been using plate reverbs. So like just a basic, simple. I don't think I would want spring.
Yeah.
Spring sounds too rock and roll or like country. I don't know. I know you like spring.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like it's not the 80s sound that you're going for. So, I mean, yeah, that like studio kind of like plate reverb is definitely heavy.
I have to research the ones I'm using because they're not necessarily labeled as that.
Yeah.
Some of them are like room reverbs.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned like you're finally getting that 80s sound.
Oh yeah,
to go with your, I don't know,
synthwave shit.
Synthwave shit, and you're like, oh, retrowave. It's like that 80s, almost like inspired music. So you're like, oh, I'd rather have 80s in a box.
Yeah, and I think that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously modded Marshalls. That's an 80s like kind of like heavy metal, glam rock kind of deal.
And that's exactly the sound.
You could make it. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to have that, and maybe like I don't know. Because the drive and delay reverb separate. So you can turn them on and off or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, you can make it like the EVH pedal to where you only have like a setting. So you click on that.
Kyle's setting.
Yeah. You can have that and be like, oh, okay, maybe you can do a mix of like how much reverb you want and kind of like change some of the delay options. Or you can just push that fucking button and like that's the sound that you get.
Yeah. Damn.
Obviously, it had to be a digital pedal on that side.
Yeah.
So you can just click on that thing and like that's Kyle.
That's Kyle's signature sound.
K-Mac.
We've never actually heard it in a recording, but that's him. He lives on in this pedal.
Yeah, K-Mac Daddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be cool. And maybe independently you can have them all turn off and on. So you can just have the drive or, I don't know, maybe that's dumb.
Yeah, I mean.
Have a mix or a blend knob or.
To blend.
Well, I mean, I think you'd want that individually for dry mix. So that would already be.
No, that'd be in the reverb part.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, in the reverb. Oh, you'd still have that on the delay.
You wouldn't want a clean, like, guitar signal coming through the distortion.
No, not clean necessarily, but the distortion pedal. Well, you could, I guess, you could have the distortion off and still have your dry mix work wet and dry mix, and have your distortion off, and so it's like just a clean guitar.
Oh, you're talking about on the reverb and delay side? Having a mix, not mixing in your clean signal with your distortion.
No,
okay, because that'd be shitty.
No.
Like, yeah, we want this thing to sound like shit.
Oh, well, perfect. Let's add this one simple step.
Yeah, I want it to sound fucking garbage.
With this one simple step, you can sound just like him.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my shitty pedal. I don't know. Maybe it's not shitty.
No,
we're working here. We're working.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We're working here.
What do you got? I know you probably planned this out for weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. I had two different ideas, and I was like, one I thought would be, I don't know, probably really doable, and really speak for what I do with the band, and I don't know, talk about it all the time. It's like an orange in a box. So an orange amplifier in a box, preferably a rock reverb. I've even played Sims of Or amps. So that's the kind of lesser gain, but it's like something of the orange structure of gain I really dig. So an amp in a box, that kind of structure. It's like not Marshally where it's like more, I don't know, percussive and has a sharper attack and has just like that rounded, I don't know, not fuzzy, but fizzy. Mid-range. I don't know what that means. It's honestly, if you're not familiar with the difference between the two, it's like you wouldn't. It's like it's a lot of a lot of what people hate from oranges. It's like they're not very I don't know, precise. Yeah. I think that's why it's somewhat surprising that somebody like Jim Root would play orange, because it's like he for being metal and being a more technical player like that. I guess he definitely. They're a little bit more rock too, but it's like metal is more about like the staccatos and the polyrhythms that you play and stuff like that. It's like people, it's like they're not going to gravitate towards orange because they're so kind of like, I don't know, like saggy, I guess, with their distortion. Anyway, so it'd be kind of like that in a box. And then I'm like, boring. And then, most people can do it, and they even do minis or whatever. It's just a tube screamer. And it would be like, that's my sound in a box. And I'm like, I could get that sound from a real amp and a real tube screamer, or even like I can digitally model it in an HX Stomp. And you can find my patch, I think, on RJ's video that I did with him. I think it's also linked in the Tone Control Discord. I think it sounds great.
God, you have these patches, but you don't even own one.
I know, I don't even own one. I was like, oh man, I was really surprised. I'm like, that sounds a lot like what I would record with. And then even in a fractal and stuff like that, I'm like, man, what about a pet? And then I've even fucked around and done with what the hell is that? The catapult. I was going to say citrus. Like, other fucking name. A catapult from Wampler, which is the rocker in a box.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it sounds pretty cool. And then I'm like, oh, you put a tube screamer. I'm like, oh my God, that's my sound.
How did I get here?
I'm like, I'm pretty basic here, but I'm like, that's like easily my sound in a box. And I think it's not super popular because it's so mid-range focused that people are like, man, this kind of sounds like shit. And then you put it in a band mix, like, this kind of works.
It almost doesn't, but it does.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to have that, because I'm like, oh, you could always just grab that pedal and put it in front of a clean amp. That's playing without a pilot in a box. Like, dang. That's all the tracks. I'm like, oh, well, what if I want it a little like, cleaner and crunchier? Well, keep both those things on, just roll your volume back. And then that's kind of like what my, cleaner tone is. It's just that I don't switch to a clean channel. But yeah, I think that would be like a go-to one. But I was thinking the other day, one of my favorite pedals, actually probably my favorite pedal, or at least for as far as dirt goes, is the Mad Professor Sweet Honey. And I don't.
Oh, you've never talked about that on the show before.
I think I have earlier in early episodes.
No,
I let you borrow it and you didn't like it so much.
It's just like it's like it didn't really do anything to what my sound when I was messing with it with the AC,
the AD-15
or the AD-30. Was it? You only gave it to me once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and it was like probably 2 years ago. So
damn.
I remember that. I was like, oh yeah, let you use it. But anyway, so I'm like, that's like my favorite one. I started playing that again. I'm like, it stacks really well with almost every drive pedal. And I think I was trying to take it off the board just to be like, oh, let me put something different. Because I have like a board that I just fuck around with pedals on. Because I'm like, it's always been there, so why should I should just take it off or whatever. And I like stacking other different drive pedals that I'm unfamiliar with, but I'm like, I can always put something with that one. I'm like, there's something in there. And I started reading up more about it. I mean, I've owned it forever. And I'm like, why don't like more, like I don't see a lot of clones of that. Like, I don't know. And I'm like, there's maybe like, I would expect, because like everybody's like, I'm cloning Timmy's, I'm cloning, I even clone the full drive OCD. I'm cloning all these other ones. I'm like, there's no clone of that. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm like, it's talking with Sean Wright about it. He's like, yeah, it is a unique pedal. It's kind of like a Tube Screamery, but it's kind of different. There's a focus knob on it that it's not tone. It's really just adding more of a, kind of sensitivity feel. So it kind of reacts differently than,
like
anyways,
a compressor almost?
Kind of. It it gives you like, it makes your pick attack, I don't know. It's really, I usually just crank that all the way up to make it feel as amp-like as possible. It's not an amp in a box. It's almost like an amp front end in a box.
Okay.
As that, because it doesn't give your amp like an orange character. It doesn't give it like, this is an AC30 character. Not like, they say the Wampler stuff.
Yeah.
It gives your amp like an almost like a separate channel character.
Okay.
So using with your conventional idea of like, using a clean platform or on the edge of breakup platform, that's great to put in the middle and use that as like the preamp section to put your drives in front of it, delays and reverbs after it. Anyways, I like that pedal so much. I'm like, and what else would I pair with it? I'm like, fucking Tube Screamer.
Yeah.
And just put that in front of it and then don't give an order toggle, because I'm like, actually, no, that one I would give an order toggle. Goddamn. Because I did for years have a Tube Screamer after it, put a Tube Screamer before it. There's subtle differences. And I'm like, I like them both. But I would probably have a Tube Screamer that had like a flat mids toggle switch.
Okay.
Because using it to kind of take away that mid hump out of the Tube Screamer, but also having that option as well, because they both sound good. But for a while, I was using a Full Drive 2, which is kind of a take on a Tube Screamer from what I've read, but it has that flat mid switch, so you can switch it there, and it doesn't have that hump that you would normally get from a Tube Screamer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be it. It's a very extensive, like you were right. So both my pedals are like a lot of thought into it, because I'm like, these are my favorite combinations. But anyways, it's not like we would have a signature pedal or anybody is going to come up to us with our list of demands. But I thought that was like, I don't know why we haven't talked about that yet. But all right. So if anybody wants to make a signature pedal, you can make either one of those.
You have to pick either one of these ideas.
Yeah.
You can't, there's no leeway.
Yeah. We would have to think, because I'm like, I like both. I like your idea, but you definitely don't like mine.
Yeah. Yours is really boring, but that's cool. But that's good. Yours is like actually useful. Mine's like, who would play that?
Yeah, you could, I don't know, or even making that.
Yeah.
Like, can you make this really tight digital pedal, but I also want it pedal board friendly.
Yeah.
And keep the power consumption pretty low.
Yeah, you could do that.
And the cost, keep it under $100, pal. No.
And it needs to be all analog.
All analog with the tape in there.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck. You get the tapes that you used to have in one of those portable recorders or your voice recorders.
Oh,
use
like
that
Home
kind
Alone?
Yeah. The Talk Boy.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is another, I don't know, I guess I was watching more just YouTube and stuff like that. I'm trying, to be productive, but you also get on YouTube and just start watching videos.
Yeah.
Partially this is, coming from watching YouTube videos. Partially I got an email from Toontrack. So they're coming out with
They make cartoons, right?
Yeah, they're
cartoon trains.
Yeah, on the cartoon trains. Choo choo.
That's how it's spelled. It bothers me.
Yeah.
Toontrack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, I guess I never really. Yeah.
Oh,
TOON.
Yeah, it's so
You're like,
stupid.
Guys, get a clue.
Yeah. Even though I've bought like $300 worth of product from you. Okay.
I won't buy any more. Just kidding. Anyway, so I got an email saying that they're coming out with MIDI bass. So easy bass.
Easy bass.
Because they have the
boom,
easy drummer, which
easy jazz.
Yeah. Smooth jazz.
Yeah.
Easy writer. They have the Easy Drummer, which is, a MIDI drum program. And we'll go into thoughts about that, but I do like that.
Yeah.
They also do Easy Keys, which is like a lot of keys, and you're doing it, are played via MIDI. So I think they kind of make the MIDI tracks. You just kind of click and drag whatever your song is going to be.
Yeah, okay. Keep going.
You'd be like, oh, well, here's the key or whatever, and we're going to come up with your key part. Just tell us the chords, and this will play. Either you want, I haven't played them, but I'm sure if you want a grand piano, you want a fucking Rhodes, you want whatever, a synthesizer, that kind of writes it for you, or it plays it for you. And then I'm sure you could also, same thing, how you use the drums, you can write your own MIDI score.
Yeah.
And then, they're coming out with Easy Bass, which is going to be a MIDI bass kind of thing. I've seen on YouTube Fluff and like Spectre Sound, Glenn, that guy. They did
Glenn.
Glenn Fricker. They both are like kind of like metal-ish, YouTubers. They kind of do a lot of like demos as far as like that kind of product and recording it. And they both do their own.
He needs to find a different name. It's like, that metal guy. What's his name?
Glenn.
Oh, it's Glenn.
Glenn. He doesn't. I mean,
what's his brother's name? Dennis. It's like, okay.
But
that guy's fucking metal.
There's something similar out already that both of them use. Or they've done at least demos for. Fluff said he uses the Submission Audio bass plugins, which is like they have a punk bass and then they have a gent bass one. He's using
for gentlemen, or
yes, for the
men in tuxedos, or
they both did demos of them, and they kind of showing like you're writing your MIDI score. So as you would do and typing on a keyboard and do your modifier keys and stuff like that, and it's like, we're writing a MIDI track. And he even said, I think on an FAQ live stream, he's like, I don't ever play bass anymore for my demos. I just write it all out.
Dang.
He's like, why am I going to, he's like, and he even said like, kind of like smugly, I'm like, Jesus Christ. He's like, why am I going to play it when I can just write it out? It's going to sound, tighter anyways. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I can make it tighter than I would ever play it. So why would I do that?
I get what he's saying.
I mean, he's kind of doing it for demos because he's demoing guitar shit.
Yeah.
So he's like, I just need a bass for this. Because he's doing drums, MIDI already.
Yeah.
Either Get Good Drums or Superior Drum or something like that. And then, it just do MIDI bass because you're already kind of there. And then just kind of demoing the guitar track, either by recording a cab or doing IRs or stuff like that. It's just like, where's the line? Is what I wanted to get with this.
Yeah.
So you heard all the buildup, and it's like, okay, the guy is like saying like, well, the bass can be played way better than I ever could or anybody could, so it'll be tighter with the drums. So why would I want to change that? Jesus, I get for the demo purpose, kinda, but that's the line. I'm like, is that okay? But what about just moving to now a record?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd still want to play the bass live. I think that's part of. I mean, maybe because I'm a bassist and he's a guitarist. That's why. Mm-hmm. He sees playing bass as a chore.
Bass is like,
I see it as another opportunity to make it sound better,
or an opportunity to be creative as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know. That's a performance that you'd want to get down tight.
Yeah,
and I mean, it is different. And but then again, his band recorded their album using MIDI drums. They weren't real drums. And so I'm like, okay, so that's fine to put your album's release as like, a computer played our drums. That, like, if we did that, let's say we wrote an album and recorded it, and then Easy Drummer or whatever, I still would want to have a drummer record it. If like, say, Brian wasn't in the band anymore, didn't want to do it or whatever, I would try and find a session drummer to like, okay, can you replicate some similar to these drums?
Yeah.
But we're going to cut them out, and then you're just going to play to a click and these tracks. And so you're kind of, taking some of the collaborative part out of it because he's not like coming up with his own drum parts or like how long the drum parts are going to be because he has to play to that recorded song. But it's also like, that's a real drummer. I'd rather put that out on an album.
Yeah, I see that. And I don't think I would ever have the bass. Because I don't know.
Yeah, and
it sounds too fake.
Next logical step is to do bass because it's like, why play it when you just write it out?
Now, see, I saw, I watched Fluff's video and it sounded super fake out of the mix. Mm-hmm. In the mix, you can't really hear it. You just hear the bass tone.
Yeah.
Right? But it sounded, I would say it almost sounded bad.
Yeah,
by
it sounded
itself. It sounded like someone played on a keyboard.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then in the mix, it was like, it sounded normal. It sounded like, oh, I hear the bass there. But I don't hear the like abrupt start and then end of the note, which that's what you hear on like a keyboard.
Yeah.
If like
it's very
your
staccato.
Decay, if your decay is all the way down and your attack is all the way up, it's like, doop.
Yeah, because for bass, the same thing with guitar, but I mean, bass, some of the technique you have to learn is to like, the strings are so much bigger than guitar. So you have to think of like the vibrations of the other strings, so muting those. And then like to mute and do staccato stuff is a technique in it of itself.
Yeah, you'd have to hit with your right hand and lift with your left to deaden the note immediately.
That and then stop it with your
with your
pick, or I guess like you have to pull like pop stop and pull off almost.
Yeah.
So even like it sounded like kind of like how the intro bass track to Seinfeld is not actually a bass. It's actually on a key played on MIDI keyboard, and so it's I don't know. It kind of had that same feel, but when you put it in a mix, it didn't.
Yeah, but then we listened to was it Glenn? Was that Glenn Fricker? Yeah. Okay, which he does some. I've watched his other videos too. When you showed him, I'm like, oh, that's his name. Yeah, Glenn Fricker.
Yeah.
It's a good name to say.
It doesn't fit for a metal guy.
Yeah, dude with long ass fucking hair.
Yeah, he's just yelling all the time.
My name's Glenn.
We
knew your name was Glenn. We should know you were in a
player,
metal.
Blah, 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 blah. My name's Glenn.
yeah. And so he showed his like mix with the bass, and it actually sounded a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It still sounded fake, but it didn't sound as fake.
Yeah, because
I think like you were saying, there's other
modifiers.
Yeah.
And you can also change it to where you're picking alternately instead of doing all downstrokes. Because most people at 200 BPM can't play all downstrokes. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
We don't, if we play fast music, but we're not doing downstroke. We're doing chicka, 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 up, down, up, down, up, like, and that's how we play. It's like, I think once we slow down to maybe like 180 or 175 BPM, we can do downstrokes, and that makes a little bit more sound like da 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 da. And that has a certain sound to it, because if you're playing downstrokes, even just on a bass, it has a certain sound to it. Even if you're just playing, I'm holding on G and doing da 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 or da 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 up down, it has a different sound. Maybe it's just the way you're attacking it. It's just, I don't know. It's like, I think a lot of people they think of bass as like a chore. It just needs to get done and out of the way.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, there's so much, I don't know, like you said, when your first statements, the bass, there's so much more opportunity to make a song sound better from bass. And I think people don't take that opportunity to be like, yeah, your bass tone should be great. Your bass performance should be great.
Yeah.
Your bass part should also be great. It's not just like, get the bass done so we can move on to the guitar, because that's more important. I don't know. I think that's maybe the mindset of it. It's just like, okay, bass is just another thing to program so we can move to guitar, star.
You could play straight notes and have it just be done, or you could have a little style to the bass. Yeah,
and even like I would say, even my demos and stuff that I do, just to get the song kind of locked in, so I can write the rest of the parts. I'm not playing the same type of bass parts that you are. Not that I'm a shitty bass player, but I'm a different type of bass player. It's like, because I'm more concerned about just kind of like either getting these parts down, or maybe like I'm more concerned about like that bass riff, and then the rest of it, okay, I'm just kind of getting it in. Whereas like when you go in to record your bass part, it's like it's exactly that. It's a completely different person playing it, and you have your own voice. Johnny said that a long time ago, but it's like, oh yeah, having your own voice on your instrument. Anyway, it's just taking that whole thing away. I'm like, I didn't realize how much that's becoming a big thing. And it's like, okay, Fluff is a big influencer too. So maybe more people are thinking like, oh yeah, I'm at home. Fuck it. I don't need to play bass.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that's a line too. Like, I wouldn't ever want to record in that. Who cares? They'll probably sell more albums than you and I ever will.
Yeah.
Just doing fake, fake drums, fake bass.
You still bitch about it, right?
Yeah. But I'm like, I still would rather play the bass. Cause I'm like, how hard is it to record bass?
Yeah. I mean, if I can do it.
And isn't that,
come on.
Yeah. Isn't that the joke? It was like, a bass is easy. It's like the least talented member of the band. I'm like, then just record a bass then.
Yeah.
And if you're like, okay, recording a loud bass amp, like a 810 classic 300 watt tube amp.
You don't have to do
have to do that.
Yeah.
You can even record a DI and use a plugin. You can record a SansAmp, and that could be your only sound.
Yeah.
Just a SansAmp XLR into your interface. That's gonna be good enough. But it's like the performance, like get a real performance. I don't know. I'm just bitching. This is turn less into like a topic and just more of a Brian Files.
Bitch fest.
Brian Files.
Get your bitches here.
Anyway.
Bitching here.
Yeah, I'm sure we could go off more on that, but maybe we just don't have the thoughts collected. So maybe we'll come back and hit it again another time.
Yeah.
But
when they actually release it.
Let's let's get on out of here. Just wanted to say thank you for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast. If you like what you hear, you can follow along on social media. We're on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. Search the Tone Jerks and you'll find us, and at the Tone Jerks on Instagram. And please, if you could, go to YouTube, and it's linked in the description, and
Stop begging.
Go to our channel and subscribe, please.
If you're good, Brian,
you can downvote every video, but just
do something.
Yeah, if you could subscribe, I would appreciate that.
Such a beggar right now.
Yeah,
let the people do whatever they want. Okay,
you can do whatever you want, but I mean, come on, just fucking subscribe and then do whatever you want. You don't even have to hit that bell. Just hit the subscribe button. I want to get to fucking 100. Okay.
All right.
Don't fucking. If you screw this up for me, Kyle,
what would I do?
I don't know. Tell people not to. Anyways. Oh yeah, we're ending the show. If you really like what you hear, you can help support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you double down for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week. There's over 120 bonus episodes. That is a lot. Over 120 bonus ones. So not the main feed, but there's also a Patreon feed. So you get an RSS, I don't know, link or whatever.
I don't know what they call it, but yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, you get that, and you can copy and paste that and put it into your favorite podcast app, and then you can listen to the podcast Patreon feed. But just as a thank you and for helping the support, we're going to give you a huge shout-out, sizable acknowledgement. Kyle, you got a list of names?
Andrew Walsh.
Go.
Adam Rohr from the Let 'Em Hear podcast. Doug King. Doug Gann. Doug Christ. Abe Newman. Do you think I should move Abe Froman up here with Abe Newman? I don't know.
Keep him at the bottom.
Yeah. We got to reorganize this, and I say it every time.
Yeah.
It'll happen one day. I don't have all the time in the world right now.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Michael Newman, Aaron Taylor, Nicholas Ogburn, Nicholas Payson.
Well, you did. Yeah. Did you talk about putting up the other side of the curtains?
I did not. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
So I guess just put this, cut this and put it in the what's new.
What's new? Yeah. So we got.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I put some curtains up.
Other side of the curtains up at the jerk lounge.
I gotta do some more reorganizing over here. I have the pedal cabinets kind of covered, but we'll see. I mean, I want to. There's a whole bunch of shit behind the curtains I want to reorganize.
Yeah.
I have like the tailgate, the truck tailgate. It actually goes back up against the wall and locks up against the wall. So I actually want to utilize that.
Yeah.
So what I'm not using, it's because I'm a surface abuser, if you can tell.
Yeah. So you got these.
I'll pull something and I'll put it down wherever like the freest spot is.
Yeah. They're getting these curtains up looking. It's curtains for you, Kyle.
Curtains. Colin Smith. I think that's where I was at. Yeah. Let's back it up here just so we're sure. Nicholas Payson, Colin Smith, Jason Fuzzmonger, Joe from Like My Pedals, Will, and RJ from the Just Surprise Me podcast, Ramyorn, Jamie Davis, Jim Bowers, Johnny Ray, Steve Mike, Steve Rao from 60 Cycle Hum, the podcast. That's how they should. It's like the movie, but it's the podcast.
The podcast?
Yeah, 60 Cycle Hum, the podcast. Kevin, he quits. I thought it was a funny joke, but as I explained it.
You're like, as I ran that out. Yep.
Yeah. I kind of did it on purpose, but really it was bad. Kevin, he quits from He Quits Guitars. Co Schneider from the Flippin' Flippers podcast. Brett Alexander. Alvaro Viramontes. Digger from Fatfoot Effects. Brian from Nutter Guitars. Leon from Pelican Noiseworks. Abe Roman. The Sausage King of Chicago. Sean Fahey. Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop. Sean Wright from Lollygagger Effects. Juan Ortiz from Tone Hungry Effects. Mike Oxbig, Zach Hale, and Eric Merrill.
There you go.
That's the list. Man, we're really lucky to have that.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's go. We'll see you next week. Bye.